So the media has lost another election, the Victorian election on the weekend. They barracked very hard, did News Corp and some of the other corporate media players. They barracked very hard against Daniel Andrews, the sitting Premier, and they lost. The Murdoch press coverage was exceptionally vitriolic. Beat-ups about investigations into why Andrews fell down some steps, or even if he did fall down some steps, these silly questions being asked with no evidence, double-page spreads, front-page tendentious headlines. Then there was a car accident which happened years ago, ancient history, and Daniel Andrews wasn't even driving. So it was full of beat-ups, horrible, nasty, toxic, mean headlines. They went relentlessly in favour of that rabble, which is the Victorian opposition. They also lost the federal election, having barracked so ardently for Scott Morrison. So what's going on here? Well, there's a couple of factors. There's a follow the money or a changing market factor with the rise of social and independent media. People under 40 aren't tuning in to mainstream. They don't watch the commercial news on TV at night. They watch YouTube when they feel like watching it. They don't read the papers. They don't pay for subscriptions to see what the Herald Sun's saying behind its paywall. The dynamics have changed. So the question is, as Murdoch lost his mojo, is the mainstream media losing its influence, its power? And the answer is yes, inevitably. Not only is corporate media now buried behind paywalls and relying on the ABC and SBS to follow up their agendas and their stories, but social media daily discredits them for their corporate allegiances, for their tribality politically, for basically being agenda-ridden and not fair dinkum news. It's a fair dinkumness thing, an authenticity thing. It'll take a while to totally concede its influence, to lose all its power, but this is an irreversible trend. People are now coming out publicly more often, like Steve Braxton did, and actually being critical of the Murdoch media and not worrying about it ruining their futures, not worrying about being attacked.
There was 150 negative stories on the Labor Party by the Herald Sun. Well, I tell you what, Herald Sun, you've got absolutely zero influence.
Such is the falling credibility of the corporate media. So finally, we've got another election coming up in New South Wales. Going to be Chris Minns for Labor against Dominic Perrottet, the incumbent. But it's a different kettle of fish because, of course, unlike the rabble that is the Liberal Party federally and in Victoria, the Liberal Party in New South Wales has been in for many years and it is quite competent in comparison. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. No doubt they'll barrack for the Liberals again, but it'll be interesting to see the waning influence of the Murdoch media and corporate media in that election.